These are times Peter actually tried to be a good dad, starting with the time Peter outed Luke Perry in the school newspaper to get Meg into college. So Meg is touring Brown University as a potential future student, though the dean doesn't think she fits the bill.
I'm not quite sure you're Brown material. Don't you have any extracurricular activities at all?
Does crying alone in your room count?
Peter, we've got to do something. If Meg doesn't get into college, who knows what kind of future she'll have?
But does it have to be an Ivy League school? Ever hear of a community college? Or heck, she could go to a trade school. She's kind of built like a plumber.
You just need more extracurricular activities.
Well, I do have a friend in the school newspaper.
Perfect! And this episode was back in 2000, so the internet hadn't completely killed newspapers yet. But if Meg wants a spot on the newspaper, she'll have to go through Neil Goldman.
I never realized how smooth the skin between your acne is.
I'm impressed, Meg. You seemingly said all that while holding down a ton of vomit. So Neil gives her a shot, tasking her with getting an interview with the mayor. It's too bad he's not too keen on interviews.
Well, you can't interview a dead man, can you?
To be fair, that's the only appropriate response to a journalist. But despite his best efforts, Mayor West is outwitted by Meg's journalistic senses.
Young lady, I don't talk to the press under any circumstances. What makes you think I'll talk now?
This.
She plays dirty, but the mayor will be even dirtier if he doesn't comply, so she gets her interview. But even though she gets the story of her career, Peter doesn't think it'll fly.
Look, I know kids, and this story's gonna put him to sleep.
So Peter pulls the classic move of doing the assignment for his child. Honestly, he probably has the literacy skills of a child, so they may not even notice. So the next day at school, everyone seems to love Meg's swap story. But when she sees what everyone's reading, well, she might need to lawyer up.
Oh my god! Meg Griffin, you are so sued.
Man, I don't know how high school paper in Rhode Island makes it all the way to Hollywood, but Meg should be impressed. So Meg's slander sends her into a war with the beloved actor Luke Perry. They say don't meet your heroes, and definitely don't call them gay in the paper.
How could you do this to me? I love Luke Perry.
He's mad you're wasting your time. Don't you read the papers? He's gay.
Since it's Meg's credibility on the line, Peter needs to fix things. Maybe he could come clean and admit to what he did.
If I could get a picture of Luke Perry doing something gay-like, it'll make people believe Meg's story is true.
Of course, that sounds way easier and more practical. Why didn't I think of that? Peter's even willing to seduce Perry himself. I mean, how could anyone say no to all that man? Pretty easy, actually. Watch. No.
Oh, my muscles are, look at it, they're all shiny with oil.
Yeah, he's not biting, but Peter's really giving greased-up deaf guy a run for his money. Looks like he's gonna need a much more direct approach.
Hey, why don't you come over to my house so I can take a picture of you in a gay pose?
Huh?
Dinner?
Sure.
Must have just been the wind who said something about a gay pose. So once they're back at the Griffin house, Peter tries to make another move.
Oh, God, I'm sorry. You know what's good for getting wine out? Sex with another man.
Oh yeah, that old wives' tale. Well, Meg gets home and the whole thing becomes clear to Luke Perry, so Peter decides to come clean.
Look, Luke, this is all my fault. I was just trying to help my daughter get onto the school newspaper.
Yeah, come on, Luke. Can't you just be a little gay? Well, Luke does agree to give Meg an interview to clear everything up. She gets to meet her idol and become a school journalist, all thanks to her dad. I guess the lesson here is...
Things always work out if you just do whatever you want without worrying about the consequences.
But Peter had to teach Meg about the consequences of her actions when he tried to save Stewie from a foster home he sent to because of her lies. So things first start with Meg complaining that she has no friends because of her purse.
What did you do to my daughter? I swear to God, if you touched her...
Okay, off to a good start with Peter standing up to that scumbag handbag of Meg's. But she really just needs a new purse.
What are they, like 10 bucks?
More like 1,100.
You wish I loved you that much.
Desperate for some money, Meg decides to try to get a job. She's turned away at first, but having Stewie with her helps her look desperate.
Well, I can't send an unwed teenage mother out on the street without a job.
So she decides that pretending to be a teen mom is the best call. After all, it would show people a man was at least with her long enough to have a baby.
Being a single mother is hard, but the real challenge is having a baby that's addicted to crack.
I think your fake single mother story was enough to get sympathy tips. Now you gotta bring the totally not appropriate for kids candy into it. That's like DEFCON 1. You haven't even made it past DEFCON 5.
Could I get that waitress's address? I'd like to help her baby.
And by help, she means taking him away.
Sandy Belfort, Child Services. We're placing this baby in a foster home.
Honestly, even without the made-up story, that's probably for the best. Maybe another home can work the crazy out of Stewie. Peter and Lois try to get him back, but they probably should have rehearsed what they were gonna say first.
The name's Griffin. We're the ones who fed dog food to our crack-addicted baby.
What do you mean that didn't work? Since the government's no help, when are they ever, am I right? It's up to Spooner Street to rescue Stewie.
Well, we're here to help, and we must get our baby back.
Nothing brings neighbors together like a kidnapping attempt. So Cleveland and Joe act as a distraction while the wives monitor from a nearby van.
God, it gets me hot when Joe lies to strangers. When I get him home, I swear to God, I'm gonna grease up
That's fine, Debbie.
Hold that weird fantasy for later, we don't need to know. Also, I thought for years that Lois was referencing something when she called her Debbie, but it turns out Bonnie was originally called Debbie early in production, and the name didn't get changed in this script. Wild to think of how different the world would be if she'd kept the original name. Anyway, while that goes on, Peter sneaks into the house to pull off a reverse Santa Claus.
Oh, hey kids. I'm Santa Claus. Just practicing for Christmas.
While the children argue over what race Santa actually is, Peter comes this close to getting Stewie out of there.
Hold it right there.
Oh, what?
Well, he makes a compelling argument. The Griffins try to explain the situation, but the foster parents don't want to give Stewie up.
Oh, you people can kiss the fattest part of my ass. We'll be back, Stewie.
But maybe there can be a compromise. An $1,100 compromise.
Is that a real Prada bag?
So even though it was Meg giving up her new bag to save Stewie, Peter's willingness to commit a felony just to save him does speak to something. Is he a good father, or just always willing to commit a crime? I'll let you be the judge of that. But committing crimes is oddly what brings Stewie and Peter together as the two bonded over almost murdering Lois. So like most kids his age, Stewie is desperate for attention. And like most psychopaths his age, he's willing to get violent to get it.
Damn it, woman, pay attention to me!
Ow! Stewie, that's not nice.
Oh yeah, so this is one of those times when Stewie remembers he wants to kill Lois. Props to him for committing to the bit for so long. Lois thinks this stems from a lack of Peter in Stewie's life.
Starting today, I want you to spend more time with Stewie.
Honestly, now that I think about it, I hardly ever see them interact. Does Peter even know Stevie's name? So they try a few hangouts, like going to a ball game.
Where is Stewie?
Don't know why he decided to hang out there, he's gonna miss the game. Then they try the bar. Classic toddler hotspot. And judging by the gross story Quagmire's telling, anywhere he's at is not a place for children.
And this is the hand that caused all the trouble. Got your nose, little guy.
Yeah, it's not enough to clean your face after that. I think you're gonna want a whole new one. Obviously, this isn't working too well. If only there was something they both like to do.
Ow!
Oh, sorry, Lois.
You can see the synapses firing off in Peter's baboon brain. Lois plus pain equals a happy Stewie.
Peter, what's wrong with you?
Wait, Lois, don't move. Stewie's loving this.
Look, this video is about Peter being a good dad, not a good husband. And so the torture continues, including getting hosed down on the toilet.
What the hell are you doing? Ow!
What do you think I'm doing? I'm bonding with Stewie.
Followed by some good old-fashioned attempted murder. Nothing brings a father and son together like trying to kill their wife and mother, the kind of psychotic behavior this country is founded on. Seems like it's working, as Peter really seems to be rubbing off on Stewie.
Hey, Dad, pull my finger. What? Oh, sounded like a peep toad.
You know it's real when Stewie's calling him Dad and not Peter or the fat man. Lois finally makes it home. And with no groceries, man, she's slacking.
Hey, Drippy, you're back. What's for dinner?
Probably Lois's whole fist if you keep talking, Peter.
Stewie, you go into your room.
I think not. Dad's got my back.
Yeah, Stewie, she looks mad. You better go to your room.
Solid passive parenting, Peter. And in that instance, Stewie loses all respect for his father. I don't think there was much to begin with, but now the little he had is truly all gone.
You traitor! I trusted you, but you're a wuss!
So to win back his son's trust, Peter pulls out the secret weapon that no child or man-child can ignore.
Oh, Disney World! Disney World! Disney World!
But like most kids, Stewie gets bored pretty quickly and wanders off.
Stewie? Oh my God, he's gone! Has anyone seen my son?
Don't worry, Peter. He's just checking out one of Disney's highlights, Indentured Servitude.
Well, a lost child. Looks like we've got a new recruit.
Next time I go to Disney World, I'll have to ask the actors there to blink twice if they're being held captive. Luckily, it looks like Peter took some time out of looking for his lost son to ride the ride Stewie's on.
I say, fat man, get me out of here!
Oh, Stewie, there you are. Thank God.
But Disney doesn't take kindly to their child slaves being released, and security gives them chase. Every day it gets funnier and funnier that Disney now owns Family Guy. But after a minecart chase paired with throwing former Disney CEO Michael Eisner off a cliff, Peter and Stewie finally find a moment to reconnect.
Well, you really came through for me today, so oh, what the hell?
And so the father and son hug it out and walk off into the sunset together. This is a rare moment of Peter and Stewie being able to bond, one I would honestly love to see more of. They have a pretty fun dynamic. But who would have thought Meg and Peter could also have fun together, as they discovered on a college road trip, which resulted in Meg losing her chance to go to her dream school. So during a college fair, Principal Shepard reveals he's arranged an interview for Meg at her dream school.
Green Mountain College? Oh my god, that's my first choice. Can one of you guys take me up there?
Not it. Nose goes, rock, beat, scissors. I'm busy. I have a funeral that day. It's my funeral. So how will Lois and Peter decide who goes?
I'd be happy to take you, Meg.
That's a healthy relationship if I've ever seen one. So Peter and Meg head out on a road trip to Vermont.
Meg, what are you doing?
Just letting the wind wave my hand. Sometimes I like to pretend that I'm flying. Plus it tickles.
That's stupid.
Thankfully, Peter loves stupid things.
The wind wants my hand to go back, but I'm not letting it. I'm stronger than air.
Good thing he's right-handed? Peter continues to treat her like usual, ordering nothing for her for dinner and insulting her. But his mood changes when one of his favorite songs comes on.
Hey, night moves. At least there's one cool person in this dump. I wonder who played this.
I did.
Hey, it's a hell of a lot better than Bird is the Word, that's for sure. Meg explains she's heard Peter play this song for years from the backseat.
I never knew you were listening. Never even knew you were there. Wait, were you that little fat boy with the glasses?
I'd say that's a pretty apt description. Meg actually knows a lot about Peter, but I don't think he can say the same about her.
I don't hate you, Meg. You're my kid.
Wow, how nice, and totally not just a general statement. The two continue to bond when they make a stop at a keg party. That's the true college experience right there, beer pong and urinating off a balcony.
You got a funny little wiener, but you're a nice guy, Meg.
Either Peter doesn't understand female anatomy, or Meg has a lot of explaining to do. So when the duo return home, Lois wants to hear all about the interview.
We didn't go. I slept right through it.
What?
Yeah, it was awesome. We stayed up all night partying.
Partying hard and sleeping through responsibilities sounds like she's ready for college to me. Still, I think the main takeaway here is that Meg got to spend some time with Peter.
We bonded for the first time in our lives.
And honestly, that's a bigger achievement than getting into college. So Meg continues to hang out with Peter, but dang, is it hard to keep matching Peter's energy.
Had enough yet?
Yes. I don't know how you do it. Everything he does is exhausting.
And so it's with a heavy heart that Meg must dump her father.
Dad, I don't need you to be my friend. I need you to be my father.
Might be asking for too much there. Aim a bit lower, Meg. Peter's sad to see his little girl growing up so fast, but can at least take comfort in knowing that he gave her a great memory that she'll keep with her forever. Unless the eventual therapy erases it. But when he's not damaging his kid's future, he's trying to save it, like when he decided to hunt a killer fish to save the house. So Peter's become a tad Jabba the Hutt-esque since losing his job at the toy factory.
Well, you at least have to do something other than sitting there eating.
Excuse me, he's doing a lot on that couch. Loafing, sulking, wasting away, his schedule is pretty full. But while he's on a forklift ride at the docks, he seems to find his true calling.
Now that's a job. Fresh sea air, working outside. That's how a real New England man makes a living.
Well, if he wants all that, he could just become a whale. He's already got the size down. So after quickly shedding 800 pounds, Peter manages to secure himself a ship at a police auction.
Do I have an opening bid for the boat?
$50,000!
Sold for $50,000.
Could have started with like $100, but whatever, Peter has himself a boat. A cursed boat.
The last captain of that vessel lost his life, and it weren't no accident.
So Seamus, in his first ever appearance, tells of how the boat's owner was killed by a monstrous fish named Daggermouth.
Don't expect me to fish your dead body from an angry sea that gave you fair warning.
Look, man, I think he's just trying to catch some tuna or something. So he's got a ship, but now this baby needs a name.
The SS more powerful than Superman, Batman, Spider-Man, and the Incredible Hulk put together.
They said the Titanic was a ship God couldn't sink, but this boat is so powerful that God wouldn't even dare to try. But the other fishermen at the dock don't take too kindly to newbies.
Because I don't like you and I don't like your face. We don't need any more fishermen crowding up this wharf.
If that wasn't enough, the bank's getting ready to repossess the house if Peter can't pay back the loan he took out for the boat. You mean he didn't just have $50,000 in cash? Rookie mistake.
You need 50 grand, Griffin? Well, I got a suggestion for you. Why don't you kill Daggermouth?
What a convenient amount of reward money. Despite Seamus's warnings, Peter's ready to take a chance for his family.
I am not gonna let my family live on the street. Not even if it means ending up like Seamus here.
Yeah, but Seamus didn't even lose his body parts on a fishing journey. He lost them one night after tripping with James Woods.
And he thought I was a steak. Grilled me, ate me arms and legs, it was a whole thing.
So with the help of his buddies, Peter sets out to hunt down Daggermouth, whose name is so metal that it actually inspired a Canadian punk rock band.
All right, let's go kick some fish ass.
When night falls, the guys come across Daggermouth's home, finding him to be quite the elegant chap.
Welcome, gentlemen.
No wonder this fish is considered so dangerous. He knows how to use a gun.
Not so fast.
Perhaps I could offer you a glass of port.
Oh, I get it. Boating puns. But when he goes to reload, Joe sees that as the time to act.
Peter, catch! Ow! Don't throw stuff at me, Joe.
All right, he was trying to give you your epic moment. I guess just shoot the fish then. I don't think anyone's gonna want to buy a slice of that fish.
It's a robot, you idiot.
Yeah, I knew that. Turns out that's Salty, the owner of Peter's boat that was apparently killed by Daggermouth.
I disappeared and spread the Daggermouth rumor myself.
Why?
Merchandise.
Okay, fair. That's what pulls in the big bucks. Unrelated, and just out of curiosity, what's your interest in a sweaty clam shirt? Feel free to say no, just know that you will hurt my feelings.
And now I'm going to give you $50,000 to be on your way.
Nice. Hush money is the best kind of money. So yeah, even though Peter did get his family into the mess of almost losing their home, Peter did do a brave thing to try to save them. And thus begins Peter's long, illustrious career as a fisherman for at least one season. But I don't know if you can call beating up a kid brave, which is what Peter did to try to take care of Chris's bullying problem. So Chris is on his usual paper route when he stops by Herbert's, and here's something I never thought the old man would say. He wants to see other people.
I think you're a real nice guy, but I just decided to go with another paper.
Don't question it, Chris. Be smart and keep on pedaling. So Herbert's new delivery boy is Kyle, who's a bit of an a-hole.
Here's your paper. What are you doing here? Beat it, nerd.
This kid basically kills Chris's paper route, so Lois suggests showing his clients how good of a paper boy he is.
Hey, Mr. Herbert, I want you back.
Easy now, Chris. Phrasing like that might give this old man a heart attack.
Oh, is that my phone? No.
Oh man, he's really moved on to his new flavor of the week. Chris confronts Kyle about stealing his job, but this kid is not the negotiating type.
I want him back.
Oh, yeah?
To stand up for his son, Peter decides to pop over to Kyle's house and have a little chat with him.
Apparently your son got into a little scrape with my kid.
Oh dear, they're not getting along?
I'm always shocked when parents of bullies act like this. Like, lady, have you met your son? Should have expected something like this to happen when he named him Kyle. So Peter tries to talk to him, but of course Kyle isn't making it easy.
I just want you to know what you did the other day was wrong.
What you did the other day was wrong.
Just keep your cool, Peter. He's a child and you're an adult.
My name's Peter Griffin. I'm a big, fat, dumb buttface.
They're just words. They can't hurt.
You're a poop nose.
Okay, kill him. Look, I'm not gonna sit here and say what he did was right. I'm also not gonna say I got some weird joy from seeing this little turd get beat up. But I will say that one of those things I just said is a lie. Maybe both.
Hello? Peter did what?
Just remember, Kyle, snitches get stitches.
You're 43 and you just assaulted our neighbor's child. This is a very serious situation.
Not too serious, though, as Kyle actually forgives him and says he would have done the same thing.
I mean, bullying makes you feel pretty cool.
Yeah, I guess it was kind of cool.
Some people get motorcycles or join a softball team when they hit middle age, but not Peter. He's gonna take up bullying. God help us. So Peter decides to track down his old high school bully to show Chris that violence is always the answer. I shouldn't have to say this, but please don't listen to Peter.
You can't hit him.
Yeah, I have MS.
Oh, you hear that, Chris? This guy's got a monkey scrum and he's bragging about it.
Before Peter can land a very slow punch, Chris steps in and starts beating up his dad. Knowing Peter, this is about to do irreparable damage to his self-esteem.
But you wanted me to learn to stand up to a bully. Well, I'm standing up to you.
So in the end, Peter did teach Chris a lesson about defending yourself, and all it took was beating up a child to get there. His methods may be questionable, but sometimes his heart's in the right place. And speaking of questionable methods, Peter once went undercover as a high school student to teach kids about saying no to narcotics while also helping Meg become popular. So the story starts out like they all do, with a Colombian plane filled with hallucinogenic toads falling out of the sky. This is just the only episode where you can see it, trust me on that. The pilots escape while the toads they are carrying happily hop into the night, with one accidentally getting licked by a boy.
Could not. Could too. Could not. Ew, gross, man.
Yeah, normal people just kiss him on the mouth in hopes they turn into a prince. How we survive as a species is a mystery to me. Anyway, it turns out you experience a psychedelic high if you do lick them.
I can see the air.
It isn't long before this hot new trend hits the schools and also Chris's backpack.
Young man, where did you get this toad?
It's not mine.
Oh, so you like licking toads, huh? Then here, lick a whole carton of toads.
Maybe it's Meg's toad.
Oh, now don't you try to pawn this off on your sister.
Yeah, Meg is so not cool enough for that, which is definitely a good thing I'm absolutely not judging her for. Well, a wart on Meg's hand says otherwise, but she's just holding it to get in with the popular crowd.
I thought if I held Connie D'Amico's toad, she'd make one of the cool guys ask me to the winter snowball.
So Peter goes to the school to pitch a plan to solve this crisis to the principal.
Well, Mr. Griffin, I don't like it.
Oh.
I love it!
Oh. So what is Peter's master plan?
I'm the new kid in town, Lando Griffin.
I wouldn't doubt Peter was on Toad himself to come up with that plan. Then again, maybe everyone will be so high that they'll actually buy it.
Hey, does anybody have any drugs? I'm looking to score some drugs.
Maybe the super direct approach isn't the way. Peter will have to infiltrate the cool kids. Luckily, Lando is the very definition of cool.
Oh God, ow!
Cool, he's bleeding.
Did I say cool? I meant to say something more derogatory. But that little stunt does catch the attention of the popular crowd.
We're gonna do some Toad. You in?
You're gonna do Toad?
What's the big deal?
Oh, he'll tell you, through a song that skirts the line of copyright infringement.
Gotta give it up.
Give up the Toad now.
It's no joke.
Remember the simpler days when everything could be solved with a musical number? Oh, how far we've fallen.
I'm no fool. Lando's cool. Yeah!
He certainly is, and he's also Meg's ticket to the popular crowd.
If I'm such a loser, how come I'm going to the winter snowball with Lando?
Yeah, a loser wouldn't go to a dance with their dad, right? But Meg's hopes are quickly dashed when Peter's own popularity gets to him.
My underground sources have informed me that Lando's taking Connie D'Amico.
What's lamer than going to a dance with your dad? Getting dumped by your dad. There really is no hope for her, huh? When the night of the dance rolls around, Lando and Connie prepare to be crowned king and queen before he sees Meg and has an epiphany.
My first choice was Meg Griffin.
What?
Meg Griffin!
Nothing makes you look like the hottest girl in the room like an impassioned call-out, even if it is from your dad.
So now, heartbroken, I will ride recklessly into the night and up Dead Man's Curve.
I mean, you could probably just say you're moving away. Now you're gonna have to find a dead body to use in your place, remove their teeth so they can't use dental records, singe off their fingerprints. Not that I've thought about this before.
Police were baffled when no body was found at the scene, but they decided it was best not to ask questions.
Oh, phew, that's great. We should all hope we're that lucky when the time comes. Not only did Lando die a hero, but he also gave Meg the greatest gift of all. One night of popularity that will be forgotten by the next day. But Peter's probably hoping Meg forgets about her relationship with Quagmire, where Peter had to step in before things crossed the most disturbing line. So it's Meg's 18th birthday. Somehow she's gone from 16 to 18 while Stewie stays 1, but let's not think too hard about that. Especially when it's time to partay.
Surprise!
Oh dear.
You telling me the bigger surprise wouldn't have been if people did show up? Someone actually does show up, though.
Hey, Quagmire, what's going on?
Well, Peter, a little birdie told me that today is Meg's birthday.
Not just her birthday, her 18th birthday. A birthday that may be more anticipated by Quagmire than teenage girls.
Hey, welcome to the adult club, huh? And you know what? You got another member right next door if you ever want to talk and stuff.
Judging by how he's rubbing her leg, I think he's really hoping for the stuff rather than the talk.
Look at Quagmire hitting on that You know he's gonna close the deal.
Peter, that stink is your daughter.
Well, better she be with Quagmire than someone you don't know, right? No. The answer is no. Quagmire leaves for the night, but the two continue to flirt like giddy school kids over text.
Oh.
How long until you think they start sending those kinds of pictures? You know the ones, right?
Okay, Glenn, time to reel her in.
So Quagmire manages to score a date with Meg, and Peter responds as any parent should.
Bye, you guys. Me and Glenn are going out.
What? Like hell you are!
Somehow Lois is okay with this and pushes them out the door. Did I get hit in the head? I feel like I'm hallucinating. Never thought I'd see the day where Peter is the responsible parent.
Peter, nothing's gonna happen. Don't you see? She's only doing this to get a rise out of us.
Actually, I think the only one she's trying to get a rise out of is Quagmire. And that's a giggity. Their date seems to have gone well, with both sharing a sweet little 40-year age gap goodnight kiss. But Papa Peter is here to make sure that's all they did.
Did you have sex with my daughter?
Peter, trust me, it's not happening.
Looks like Peter taught her well, never give it up on the first date. He probably also should have mentioned not to date men 3 times your age.
Meg is 18 now, and you've got to let go. You've done your job. It's my turn now.
Not if Peter has anything to say about it. He tries everything from breaking up their cuddle sessions to policing their hangout time.
Aww.
I heard a cute aw in there. Cool down.
Peter tries to convince Meg to stop seeing Quagmire, but this only drives her to want to date him even harder.
Dad, I know what you're trying to do, and I want you to stop it. Mom!
What is it, Meg?
Jeez, were you standing there the whole time? Lois reminds him not to engage or else she'll just try harder. Maybe this would be true if this was another boy, but we're talking about Quagmire here. Not even women from other shows are safe from him. And what a shocker, Meg doesn't show up for lunch and ends up going to Quagmire's cabin.
He calls it his sex cabin.
No, he doesn't. He calls it the stuff it in.
Oh, so now it's an issue, Lois? If only you would listen to your correct but usually wrong husband.
Oh, don't worry, Peter. He's not gonna sleep with her.
That's you.
Thankfully, Peter and Lois make it before Meg creates any lifelong regrets.
So I don't care how old you are, you're gonna do what I say and get in the damn car!
Can't believe I actually just heard Peter be a parent. It's like seeing a double rainbow or a four-leaf clover or a non-terrible Discord update.
If you ever touch my daughter again, I will cut your thing off and feed it to Brian.
Too late, Lois. This victory all goes to Peter today. And Peter earned another victory for Meg when he became the school's principal and brutally punished everyone who had wronged her. So it's just a regular day of school with a regular session of Meg bullying.
Very funny. Who put the Ark of the Covenant in here?
Classic. That and the whoopee cushion were always my favorite pranks to play. Maybe today isn't exactly normal, as it looks like Principal Shepard is having a mental breakdown.
I just listened to 2 hours of butt-dialed sex between my wife and the ADT alarm guy.
Oh, judging by the fact you look like how a dumpster smells, I'd say you're handling this divorce pretty well. So an emergency school board meeting is held to figure out what the heck to do with the guy.
Due to his erratic behavior, we have placed Principal Shepard on indefinite paid leave.
That means they need a temporary replacement. Now, if a certain guy could not volunteer...
I'll be your new principal!
Of course. I guess he's qualified? He's at least seen children before, I think. Well, he gets picked anyway, and his children may have to deal with the consequences.
I'm only gonna get bullied worse now.
Wouldn't that make her not get bullied? I wouldn't mess with the daughter of the law of the land. It's like picking on a cop's kid. Next thing you know, you got white powder planted on you and a canine dog tearing at your arm.
I feel you, Meg.
Shut up.
You shut up.
Not gonna lie, that didn't do much for the story, I just thought it was funny. While at school, Peter does witness firsthand the bullying Meg goes through on a daily basis.
Grape juice in a Ziploc bag?
I have to make my own Capri Suns.
But no one's gonna upstage Peter in his abuse of his daughter.
What are you gonna do about it?
What am I gonna do about it? I'll knock your teeth down your throat and out your butt, you little bastard!
Hope you like sitting on a toothbrush to brush your teeth, kid.
Get on your knees and lick that up!
What? Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm serious. I'm the principal.
Normally, I wouldn't approve of a principal making a kid lick something, but this is a very rare case where I'll allow it.
Now that your dad's the principal, you could finally have power over the bullies.
Oh boy, I think it's right for the natural order of things if Meg never has power over anybody. It never tends to go well. So Meg essentially turns Peter into her own personal hitman, ready to target anyone who's wronged her.
Don't take any crap from anyone.
Oh, I won't. I'm gonna take down all these punks.
And what a shock, things start to get taken a bit too far.
This is a chair without a seat. Jeff Banfield, I'd like you to please come down here, take your pants off, and sit.
Nothing like a little Casino Royale style torture to get those grades up. That's what they're trying to do here, right?
What is going on here?
Oh good, some actual adults.
You are hereby relieved of your duties.
A promotion?
No, you're fired.
And it looks like Lois was the one who snitched on him. If you can't trust your wife to keep your child assault crimes a secret, who can you trust?
I guess your mom was right all along. I had no business running a school.
That is very true, but you can't say his intentions weren't noble.
You stood up for all the kids who get picked on. You stood up for me.
That's true. Peter actually stood up for her well-being for the first time in who knows how long. Maybe this will help him realize that he can do the same thing at home. Yeah, I didn't think so either. Because after all, it took Meg nearly dying for Peter to start treating her like a princess while also helping her get married. During a flash flood in Quahog, the Griffin house quickly begins to fill with water.
Oh my God!
I know, about the water, right?
Now that you mention it, the living room water level is looking a bit higher than normal.
We gotta get out of here!
Hang on, Lois, there's a case of beer in the fridge. I can't leave that behind.
I'm with Peter. If I'm gonna experience a natural disaster, I might as well be a little buzzed during it. So Peter enlists Meg to get it because, I mean, you know why.
And for God's sake, do not be afraid to make me a sandwich while you're in there.
But before she can get the beer out, her shirt gets caught on the fridge door. She could just easily take off her shirt, but props to her for knowing that nobody wants to see that.
She could not even handle this simple task. She's in there right now, taking a nap underwater.
or as we in the scientific community call it, drowning. Well, the family somehow gets her to a hospital, maybe on a canoe or something, but she's fallen into a coma. This near-death experience drives Peter to do some self-realization.
She's my only daughter, and I feel like I've never treated her as well as I shoulda.
What makes you say that?
Hi, Dad.
I mean, I guess there's some room for improvement. But luckily, Meg doesn't stay in a coma for long, with the first thing she sees when she wakes up being a hot young doctor.
Well, hello, sleepyhead. I'm Michael.
Hi, Michael. I'm Meg.
And with his daughter back, Peter vows to no longer treat her poorly. He will be a family guy.
Oh, things are gonna be different. No more will I treat you like some kind of alien.
Unless it's a cool alien, not like E.T., that geriatric-looking freak. Sorry, he scared me as a kid.
If there's anything you ever want, all you gotta do is ask.
Really? Well, there kind of is one thing.
Turns out she really wants to date her doctor. How are you feeling about that, Peter?
Stay away from my daughter, you possible rapist!
Okay, that's a bit extreme, but Peter's just being overprotective about losing Meg.
Maybe he's not even a boy. Maybe he's two dwarves in an overcoat wanting to see what sex is like with a big person.
Okay, but that sounds exactly like something you'd love to see, Peter. So Peter does what all dads do, sits the boy down and psychoanalyzes him.
You ever sit on your arm till it falls asleep and then play with yourself and pretend like somebody else is doing it?
Honestly, yes.
Say no more, approved. But that isn't the end of Peter's tomfoolery as he hatches a plan to spy on Meg and Michael while dressed, let's say, controversially.
Peter? Who Peter?
I didn't say Peter. I said Dad.
Oh.
The spying and blatant racism end up being too much for Michael.
If your father is this opposed to our relationship, I don't see how it can work out.
He may not know it yet, but he just dodged the biggest bullet. That family would drive him to madness. 2 weeks later and Meg's still upset, only now it's not because of Michael.
I'm pregnant!
Mazel tov? Well, if Meg's gonna have a baby, she's gonna need a baby daddy. So Peter goes to talk to Michael with his persuasion gun.
I just want to talk to him. I just want to shoot him. I just want to talk to him.
You can't shoot him!
And that's how I married your mother, kids. Her dad showed up at my house and threatened to shoot me if I didn't. That's true love right there.
I want to be there for you, Meg. I love you. Will you marry me?
So the wedding finally rolls around. There's just one teeny tiny problem.
I got my period.
Ow.
Oof. Terrible time to be wearing white, huh? Okay, but it seems like Michael may really like Meg, and they can still make it work even without... Oh, he's running out the door. Even if it took a near-death experience to change his mind, Peter does go above and beyond for Meg in this episode, genuinely wanting to protect her and make her happy. Although I bet he's disappointed he didn't get to use that shotgun. Maybe next time, Peter. But don't wait until next time to subscribe. You won't want to miss any of the great Family Guy videos we have and will continue to make.